I got some text right now, and this is kind of like, it's a cool YouTube thing, so I can like look at the camera and be like, hey guys, if you want to comment below, blah blah blah. People do that. Subscribe. So I got some questions from our lovely folks at HRC. Remember, y'all gave a wonderful talk there a few weeks ago, and the anonymous questions were sent. I think you got to some of them, and I asked them, hey, can you guys send me like these, and like maybe I can go over a couple of them with you guys.
Oh, they still have them. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you guys a couple of them right now. All right, so let's see. I don't buy you saying men shouldn't be financially stable. You asked, and 50% of the girls here disagreed. How am I supposed to date unless I'm stable? That sounds like it's directed at George. I don't know if you remember what you said.
I do.
This is like 2 months ago, but
I do. I think it's funny that you were saying that, because this has been on me and Susan's mind, and we've talked about it a lot, because it felt like we got a lot of pushback. So what I was trying to tell people was, don't look for a prepackaged man who is already this financially, and when I say financially secure, what I'm talking about is someone who's wealthy.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe they mean
home ownership already.
Right, could be home ownership, which in Los Angeles, California, is a big achievement to be able to buy a home here.
Right.
So I was saying, forego that, right? Like, don't look for the wealthy man who, already owns a home, is driving a luxury vehicle, and is like some big entrepreneur or something. I don't know what it is that they're looking for financially. But I was saying that look for potential in people. So when a woman meets a guy, I hope that they would, instead of saying like, oh, he has to be super financially secure. So we talked about that representing like wealth of some kind, is what I thought it meant, right? I was looking at it from, look for someone's potential. Like a good woman will, in my mind, will look at a man and say, you know what, I know that he's not wealthy, right? But I do see in him potential for improvement, right? But not meaning that like you're not going to take somebody who's a bum and turn them into a rocket scientist. Like we know that can't happen. But if there's somebody who is, let's say, I'll use this as an example because I know a lot of Egyptians are engineers, and engineering is a great job with a great future. But if you just graduated engineering school like 2 years ago and you're 25-ish, right? There's very low likelihood that you are financially secure, right? Like, or financially stable, meaning that you've got a lot of student loans to pay.
Yeah.
You are on your first job. You're basically, I consider it almost interning still, because you don't have that much experience in your field yet. But let's say if a girl meets that man and she sees that he's intelligent, I'm using this as something because it's easy to see. He went to a decent school. He's intelligent. He's driven. He's ambitious, even though he's only 25, but he's ambitious to learn more, to know more, to move up. And so, yeah, he might, he might be not where you want him to be today, but he has the makings of something great, right? So why not give this man a chance who, it sounds so funny. It's a great job it's a great career. It has a great future. But to me, it sounds funny because what more do you want? Do you want a guy who's already a millionaire? Like, what is it that we're looking for here?
Right.
And if that's the case, then they're cutting out, especially like, let's say if she is
99%.
Let's say if she is a 25-year-old girl and he's a 27-year-old guy, and most 27-year-old guys still haven't found financial independence or financial freedom, right? They still need another decade or two to get to that point. But if they can see the beginnings of like what should be a good thing, they need to give those guys some credit, right? Like it's not fair that they would only want guys who are super financially independent or super wealthy or something, because then who are they going to be looking at it? Like they're going to be in their 20s looking at guys in their 40s and 50s in order to find that.
Right.
And that's not good, because you're cutting out who should be like potential spouses, which are people within a few years of your age.
Right.
And so it seems like I don't like this idea of wanting this prepackaged.
Yeah.
Especially when you're young.
Because your own experience was different. Like you guys built the life, and you grew successful together.
And you know what? I don't
think a lot of people want to do that anymore. They don't want to live on rice and beans and go through that whole phase. It's just like, let's get married and let's move into the hills together.
We couldn't be where we were today, though.
Yeah.
Especially on my side. I couldn't have been who I am today without us being together to do it.
Yeah.
Meaning that I started my own company in construction. I couldn't have done that unless I had a partner to rely on, and she was the one supporting us for a while. And after that, now I'm going on to investing in homes and being an investor.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't do that if I didn't have Susan to lean on. So some things take two. And I was trying to tell some of the people that I met after the meeting a month or two ago, was that if this person, and we'll use that same thing, which is he's a great engineer, right? And you happen to be a great pharmacist or whatever you might be, like a typical thing that a lot of Egyptians are. Yes, on your own, you cannot do it. But did you know that together, you guys can conquer the world?
Right.
Together, you can actually.
Synergy.
Yeah, you can actually help push each other forward. Together, you can own a home. Together, you can make a future together. But if you're going to wait and just be on the sidelines and say, oh, I'm going to wait for the guy who can pull both of our weights, then, I'm not a big believer in that. I think a lot of guys might even look at them as oh, they're just looking for a sugar daddy. Like, they're not looking for me because they love me.
Yeah. And
so I think if women are willing to give guys a chance who look like they have real potential, that to me is fine. When my daughter grows up, if she says, oh, I fall in love with a guy who is, I'll just use this because he's an example. He's in med school. He's broke as a joke. He doesn't have any money. He doesn't have a dollar to his name. He comes from a poor family. But he's smart. He's working hard to better himself, right? And in some future, he will be doing all right. What am I going to say? Oh no, that sounds horrible, right? Or what if he's in, engineering school, or what if he's in, tech, some kind of tech school to learn how to do certain things? If I see that there's character there, then money will follow. But if I'm looking for money, there's not always character where there's money. So that to me is important. I'd rather pick, if I'm picking for my own daughter, I'd rather pick somebody with extreme character, because eventually money will find the people who are full of good character. But sometimes you find rich people that don't have any good character,
Okay, so one more on this point, and Susan, you can touch on this one. For those who are not in their early 20s, what if these guys, and in parentheses, or girls, are still not stable in career, finance, etc.? Is there a time frame when it's acceptable? Like, all right, this guy's got potential, yada yada. How long are we waiting for this potential? Like, I know, for most men, it takes until their 40s to really, if they're on a mission, to really achieve
And my advice earlier was to people who are in their 20s, trying to get married. Yeah. I guess Susie, she can talk to people who are in their maybe 30s.
Or if they're looking at a partner who's.
All of this surrounds finances, and I feel a little uncomfortable just only addressing finances, because that's not maybe for some people, but to me that's not really the goal of what you're looking for in a person.
Yeah.
Whether you're 20s, 30s, or 40s, or 80s, you know what I mean? I feel like whoever it is that you're looking for in your 30s, do they have those foundational skills? It doesn't have to be to get to a very high paying job, but do they have those, like, that sense of responsibility,
Yeah.
like that's one good foundational building block. Are they diligent about their responsibilities? Are they waking up and getting to work and, and they're earning their low paying job, but, but they have integrity behind what they do.
Well, I think the money is a proxy for these kind of qualities you're talking about. Like, so if I know someone's has, maybe not, but like
Maybe.
it's an easy proxy. Like if I look, oh, this guy probably works hard. He probably,
Yeah,
blah,
and
blah,
that's
blah.
not fair to say all that,
yeah,
because I know a lot of people that work really, really hard
Mm.
and have lots of integrity, and unfortunately, maybe their paycheck doesn't reflect that,
right.
but that their character is still something to be valued,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's very slippery slope to say money means so much.
Yeah.
Because what if these girls who are asking these questions, okay, well, what if you find this super financially stable guy and you get married, and then he loses his job, his company goes down, something happens? Does that mean he's no longer your husband because you chose him on the basis of financial security?
Yeah, a lot of our friends too, they had some slimy ways of making money when we were in our 20s, some easy
Quick
some
stuff,
quick schemes that they were involved in that were a little shady sometimes. And if you just look at kind of dollar signs next to their names, you could say, oh, well, this person can financially provide for me. But when you look at them, do you really want this person to be the father of your future children? I really honestly say I would much rather have husband who is a school teacher who earns a fixed income of whatever it is, and for us to live a more simple lifestyle, but that this person is reliable, is living their life for a bigger cause, is diligent about what they do, the things that really matter.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on whoever's asking me this question. I would need more like depth.
Context.
Yeah, depth on what in your mind equates to financially secure, financially stable. Like, does that mean just having a good job, or does that mean like having lots of money in the bank?
Right.
Because right now, I think we're not set up for an easy life. Meaning, a single guy who is a pharmacist, an engineer, something just decent, right? He's a good quality person, good education, good career. But when you're just out of college and you've got your college debt, and you've got the fact that when you're a single male or single female and you're making decent money, they take the most taxes out of those people. So you're not left with much to be wealthy, right? So if this person is saying that those kinds of people, because they don't have a lot left over after being taxed like 50%, right? And are paying their school loans down, are not viable husband material, they're crazy. That's really a sad thing that somebody can't have a normal average job and not be considered for marriage.
I think
but if what they're talking about is they want wealth, then I would say they're totally wrong. If what they're talking about is just that they want them to have a career and have a job and be going to the job and working really hard at it, that's fine. I would agree to that. So in their 30s, they should have picked a job by now and have a stable job. But to be wealthy by then, that's not a fair thing to ask of them. And maybe that's something that could be gained together. Like, again, sometimes it takes two to conquer mountains.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it has to do with necessarily how much is in the bank and stuff. I think women want a certain, they're comparing with the Joneses, right? And they want a lifestyle. It's more like, can you give me that lifestyle? because this is not a question. I remember guys don't ask this question, right? George is like, how much money does she make? Or, what's her career?
Maybe we should start asking those things, right?
Maybe we should. All right.